guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Toni and I'm a homeschooling mom to 4 kids. One of the hardest things about homeschooling is when you have little itty bitty ones. When you're trying to teach the older ones and you have little ones. Anybody ever run into that problem? Okay, we're gonna try to solve that problem just a little bit today by sharing some things that have worked for me as well as some other moms. I'm hosting this collaboration with a bunch of other moms that are gonna share what they have found that works trying to entertain those little itty bitties while you're trying to teach the big kids. Because if we can do that, homeschooling will be a piece of cake, right? Well, it'll help. Okay, so let's get started. Make sure you check out the playlist when you're done with my video to see what these other awesome moms have to say about how they entertain their little ones. So we're talking babies and toddlers, basically. So I've got 6 things that I'm gonna share that have really helped, especially with the toddler years. Now, if you have a baby, couple things that have worked for me was wearing the baby. Now that's a bigger thing, but I was probably 3 kids in before I started really baby wearing, and that was a life changer. When I wore my 3rd baby with like a carrier, some sort of either a sling or a wrap, like that Moby wrap where you put the baby in here and then you wrap the baby around and you're completely hands-free and the baby usually sleeps. It can be really awesome. We also had the Ergo baby carrier. Those were my 2 favorites. I will link those in the description box in case you're looking for something, because they worked so good for the itty bitty babies and just having them close, and then mom's hands are free. So that was huge for babies. And then obviously pack and play. Pack and play is awesome to just have them in the room. One thing I learned after having a couple kids was, you know, when you have your first kid, you're like, shh. Don't make any noise. We don't want to wake the baby. And then your baby can't sleep if there's teeny tiniest bit of noise. So I finally, after years of having babies, I discovered and learned from these other wise moms that noise is good. Like there's moms who vacuum while their babies are sleeping and they have the baby napping in the room with you guys or whatever. So you don't have to have it completely quiet. It actually can be good for them. So you may have already figured that out, but it took me a while to figure that out. So having the baby in the pack and play, playing with some toys so that you can be over here, they're still around. That was a really big thing for us for most of my babies. And just having them in the room, they didn't feel like, you know, where's mom? You know, they could see you and they could see their siblings, and it usually helped pretty good in just having toys in there. My big problem is toddlers, okay? So, because babies, you just nurse while you're reading. My kids got used to mom nursing while I was reading, and that helped baby. So I felt like the babies were pretty easy to adapt and just work around. The toddlers were like, whoa. You know, what do you do with these toddlers? He's crawling up my leg. But the toddlers, they do crazy stuff. They're always into stuff and they're a little bit louder and they're a big distraction. So I have 6 things I'm gonna share with you that worked for most of my kids. My son was a little bit of a different story, but these things worked really well, especially for my girls when they were toddlers. So let's go. Okay, so the first thing that I have to share is amazing. I got this, see this box? This is one of those like cheap photo box that they have at like every craft store. Okay, this was a gift from my very wise sister-in-law who had kids older than me, so she'd been through this whole stage. She homeschooled. She knew you need something to entertain those littles. She gave me this for Christmas one year when I was like early on into homeschooling. So I opened it up and I'm gonna show you guys what's inside. This is a busy box. You need a busy box for your toddler. It is amazing. I'm gonna show you what's inside of this busy box, and this is a homemade one. So I'm gonna show you what's inside. Okay, first thing is one of the smartest things in the whole wide world. It can be a little messy, but sometimes it's worth it. Okay, see this little container? It's like a lunch meat container, you know? Okay, so this is full of rice and tiny little pieces and things. So what you're gonna do, there's a pair of tweezers in here. So you give your little toddler and their little chubby fingers this tweezer, and they have to pull all these things out and put them on the table. It can entertain them for quite a while, because some of the things are a little bit harder to get, like, you know, something smaller like this. They have this big tiger here, but it works on dexterity. It keeps them entertained, and then you can just shake it up and have them dig for it. It really, really worked well. My girls would use this for a very long time. My son, he was not one that was entertained for long periods of time, but he did like this. He would rather probably throw the rice on the floor, but That was huge. I love this little, like a look and find thing with rice. So the next thing that she has in here, I love this. These things are genius and so simple. And seriously, this was one of my favorite gifts I ever got. So the next thing is a bag with plates and colored buttons. So what you do, you take your big plate, so you can see this has been used for many, many years. You take your big plate and you dump all the buttons on the big plate. Let me just demonstrate. So you put your big plate in the middle, you put your little plates around the side. Okay, there's a button. Dump all your buttons on this big plate. This is so awesome for little ones to learn colors. So then they take them, and usually I would start them and say, okay, I want all the red ones on this plate. I want all the orange ones on this plate, the green ones on this plate, you know, keep going, purple and yellow. Then you go teach the big kids, and they sit here for a long time, and they, oh, where does this one go? And they have to fill these plates up and put all the green ones on that plate and the orange ones, and it is so fun, so cheap, and so easy, and all my kids loved this, and it wasn't even that big of a cleanup. Even if they get buttons on the floor, it's pretty easy to clean up. I love this. The next thing that I'm gonna show you came in this box too, and it is a bag of spoons. Another thing that cost nothing. You could probably get a box of spoons for like $1. And all the spoons have letters written on them. See that? So she did all this for me. Oh my word. Like seriously, these are probably, I would say 6 years old, at least. I've had these for at least that long. So on one side of the spoon is the capital letter. So if they want to put it down like this on the table, or if they want to put it like this, she wrote it on both sides. And then we've got spoons that have lowercase letters, okay? And you match them up. And seriously, my girls would do this forever. This entertained them for so long, and they're learning. And they don't even have to know their letters. They can look at it and match them up. If you have a 2-year-old who doesn't know their letters yet, they can still look at it and see that, like, oops, for the most part, you know, and see these are not the same. So they're not gonna match them up. Let me show you how this works. They have to put these in order. So that's one part. There's a couple different things you can do with this. But they're gonna try to put the letters in order. So if they know their ABCs, then this is good. Oh, there's B, you know, and they keep going through and they put their letters in order. There's D. And then later, once they have all these lined up, there's C. So we've got A, B, C, D right here. Then they're gonna find a lowercase letter and they're gonna put it on top of that. Or they can put it next to it, or however you wanna do it. But they can just put it in ABC order. They can put their little, find the lowercase letters. Oh, there's an A goes on there, and then you check it afterwards. You can have them do stuff with vowels. This really is endless. You could even have them spell words. We've got, oh look, there's C-A. You know, this could work when you get into like kindergarten and reading words and stuff. This could be really great. C-A, let me see if I have a, there, C-A-P, cap. You know, this could be endless. And it only costs like $1, and I didn't even pay for it. There's one more thing in the box that I actually added to it. I can't remember if she had other stuff in here, but like I said, it's been like 6 or 7 years, so that's all that really stayed in there. I don't know where the other stuff was, but she had a couple other little activities. I also, back when I had time, before I had a bunch of kids, I used my Cricut machine and I cut out all these little numbers and put them on note cards, and then I used stickers and put them on the back, and this is just a fun way for them to play with these cards. I even laminated them. I think I took them somewhere and laminated them, like bubble stickers and stuff like that. That is just a fun thing to have in there. Even if they don't know it, they like to, you know, look at those and touch them and stuff. So a busy box. Those really are easy things to throw in there, and you have it in that box so that every day you just pull this box out and you're like, here, time to do this for a little bit. You might only get like, you know, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes out of it, but it'll give you time to do math or language or something with these other kids while you have your toddler there, and it is entertaining. So that is awesome. If you need a present for a friend who homeschools, please make them one of those, because that was one of my favorite presents that anybody's ever made me. That was such a lifesaver. So busy box. So the second thing that has really been a lifesaver, and I was very resistant to in the beginning. I am not a mess mom. I don't love messes. I don't love Play-Doh. We don't take out paint a whole lot. So when I heard about Kinetic Sand, I was like, no way. There's no way that that stuff, that is gonna get in the carpet and everywhere and in their shoes and their hair, and you know, no way. Well, I discovered that it actually is kind of like magic. and it's not messy and it's crazy. So take it from me, a no mess mom. I love Kinetic Sand. That is something that your kids can play with forever. For like, I mean, you could keep a little one busy if it's one that's not gonna put it in his mouth. My son never really put anything in his mouth, so Kinetic Sand has been huge for him. He will sit there and build stuff and, you know, make like a little sand castle. My girls were big into Kinetic Sand a couple years ago. I finally got them some and realized it is cool. So I will show you guys. I have this little tray here where we actually keep it out. It doesn't dry out. I really don't understand the magic behind it. But sand is scary, right? You know, like it's gonna make a mess. So if I grab the sand and roll it up into a little ball, it's really cool. It's not messy. It like, see, it like falls. I don't know, it's magic. I don't know what it is, but it's really easy to pick up. So it's kind of like Play-Doh, but I think it's better than Play-Doh because it doesn't stick and stuff. But you can, if it gets on the table, you just pick it up. Anyway, it's really fun. We got like some measuring cups where they can fill them up and make little shapes, and they have other stuff you can buy that's like little ice cream cone things that you can make shapes and stuff out of it. But Kinetic Sand is great because my kids say it's satisfying. There's something about them playing with it that's kind of calming. So if your kid is not someone who's gonna like throw it at everybody, I think Kinetic Sand would be a really fun, just calming thing for them to play with, and it's not that messy. I always put a tray down. I don't ever have them just like play with it on the table because then it would get everywhere. But I usually have some sort of tray and it's super easy to clean up. So love that stuff. The next one might seem really simple, but stickers. I have an entire box shaped like this. One of these boxes are awesome. I use them for so much stuff. But I have an entire box like this full of stickers. And I pull that sticker box out, I give them a piece of paper, and those little fingers, sometimes try to get stickers that are easy to pull off because some of them are hard and then you end up, Mom, I need your help, and then it's not really entertaining. But if you get stickers that are pretty easy to pull off, just let them pull off stickers and give them a big piece of paper, say, make this for grandma or something, and just have them put stickers all over paper so they're not putting it on the desk or the walls or anything. But they would do, stickers are entertaining for a long time. So I just love stickers. You can get them for super cheap. I've been, you know, I was a teacher, so I had a whole box of stickers anyway from collecting for years, but pick them up when you can, and that is so fun and easy. And then they've got a cute little project to give to grandma or dad or friend or whoever they want to give it to. So I love stickers. Those are very entertaining for a little while. The next thing that I am going to share is this super awesome coloring paper roll. Now you can get just a plain thing like this. I found this at IKEA years ago. They have this holder. You don't have to have the holder, but this thing's cool. And then you can put just a roll of craft paper. You just roll this out on the table and let them color. This one is cool because it's got like dinosaurs and monsters, and I think it's mostly monsters and stuff all over it. And they can actually just color it, scribble on it, whatever. And then just tear it off or keep rolling. But this can be entertaining for a long time. So like I said, you could either do this or you could just get a plain roll of craft paper and use the stickers, have them color. If you want to do like some washable paint, you could do that. But I love this thing. This is really entertaining. I keep it up high on a shelf and I pull it down for special times when my son needed entertained while I was working with the girls. And this really has been fun. All these things are only gonna last like a little while, but it really, if you keep them up and bring them down as this special thing and you don't keep it out all the time, it really does keep it fun. And this was entertaining and helped a lot when we were trying to do schoolwork. A big thing for my girls when they were little, and you could do this for, you know, boys too, but for my girls, we had a dollhouse nearby. We had a school table here and a dollhouse right here. And my girls, the little one, the toddler, would sit and play dolls quietly next to us for a long time while we were doing school. You know, if you have a boy, set up a firehouse or set up, you know, we've got a tree house that my son likes. And if you have it set up near the school table, they will play. If you have it in like the living room or in a different place, sometimes they feel like, you know, they're not where the action is, and then they can get a little crazy. You also, if you need to keep an eye on them, it's nice to have them close. But that's something that is like a quiet play thing, and they can play right next to you. So that was huge. That really like kept my little girls quiet for a long time. I've done that with my son also with like racetrack. I would help him set up the racetrack on the floor right near where we're playing. Or those wooden train tracks, or we've got like even just cars. He would just set up cars on the floor and just play. So have them with whatever toy or whatever thing that they like to do right near you. And that really does help. So they have this like set up place that they know, hey, I can play right here and I'm still with everybody. Another thing I did when he was a baby and he wasn't quite mobile yet, I did this like blanket time. So I set up a blanket. One of my other friends told me about this. And I was like, that's a great idea. So I set up this blanket and gave him books and toys, and he had this little space where, you know, you hope that he stays on. It's hard when they start moving and stuff, rolling, you know, they don't necessarily stay in the boundaries, but it was a good start. So if your kid is one that if you're like, okay, stay on the blanket, it's blanket time, and you make it this special thing, it did help for a little while. So another thing that has really helped when I had toddlers were puzzles. We had so many puzzles. The key for puzzles when it's toddlers, if you don't want to have to help the whole time, which, you know, the whole point of this is to free up mom so she can help the big kids. So you don't want to have to help, Mom, I can't find the piece. Get those big ones. Give them those big chunky puzzles that's some sort of character that they love, and they will do those over and over again if you make them really easy. They have nice wooden ones too from Melissa and Doug. They had this one, by this point, I have no idea where the pieces are, but they had this one that was like a girl, and like it was layers. It was like a rectangle like this, and it was layers. So it had the like the organs, and then it had a layer of puzzle pieces that was the muscles, and then the skin, and then the clothes or whatever. And it was really cute. And my daughter, when she was a toddler, when my third girl was a toddler, she would sit and play that thing. Like she would put all those pieces together. It wasn't hard. It wasn't a hard puzzle, but she would put the little layers together over and over again while I was doing school with my big girls. So have some sort of puzzle that they like. Those, I wouldn't do noisy ones. You know, they have those ones that like you pull the cow out and moo, you know, that's really gonna be distracting for everybody else. But have some sort of puzzle that they can do that works with their dexterity. You know, you're not wasting their time. They're not in front of the TV. It is nice to have these other options for when you want them near you, you want to feel like they're doing school with you, but they're not totally disrupting your whole school day. These are some really great ideas. If you need to use TV or tablets or some sort of media, do not feel guilty for that. It is okay. It really is okay. I know none of us want our kids to be in front of that all day long, but if they need to go watch whatever the popular show is right now, or they need to go, you know, play a game on the tablet while you focus on the struggling reader or whatever it is, then do that. Don't feel guilty. We've all done it, and our kids are doing great, you know, but it does help if it's an educational show. If I would have them watching something educational, I'm like, okay, I'm okay, you know? But don't feel bad about that. But it's nice to have these options when you don't, like maybe if you use the TV, you use the tablet as a last resort, have them in here as long as you can so they develop that homeschool, like we all sit together, we all learn together, and I can't be a big disruption to the family. It really helps to start them young because then they learn, and it's not like, you know, all of a sudden this kid has never been in the schoolroom and you bring them in, they're like wreaking havoc, you know. It really can be helpful to have these tools in your little tool belt to pull out. Like I said, keep these things away. Don't keep these toys and these things out during during playtime. I would only take these out in specific times during your school days so that they know, oh, this is fun. Now I get to do Kinetic Sand. Not like, oh, I played that for like 2 hours yesterday while mom was making dinner or something. You know, make it the special thing that you pull out during school. And I really feel like that helps keep it exciting. If you switch it up and keep it fun and keep it entertaining, it really can be fun, and it is doable. It's not easy. It is hard when you have toddlers, and it's hard when you have babies, but you will get through this. I am living proof of that. My youngest is 7. We have no toddlers and we have no babies, and I got through it. And these things worked for us, and I'm still here. Still smiling. I'm still homeschooling, so it does work, I promise. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you check out the playlist to see what these other moms have, because I'm sure they're gonna have some amazing ideas, because we've all been through this. If you have more than one kid, you've had a baby or a toddler when you're trying to homeschool. So check out the playlist and see what they have to share. Thanks so much for being here. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you are not yet subscribed so you don't miss any of my videos. And I will see you next time. Bye.